Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Now, Reeves may be feeling a little bit smug tonight, having seen the back of a woman who she's had to defend and had to pretend she likes, but in actual fact actually loathes. It's a well-known truth in Westminster that Reeves and Rayner cannot stand the sight of each other. They are politically opposites, aren't they? Well, Reeves will be thinking, ha ha ha, I won, I'm still here, Rayner's gone, I am all powerful. Well, let's just disavow her of that belief, because she's got about 3 months and then she's got to deliver a budget. Not her budget, of course, it's the budget of Bellend. But in doing Bellend's budget, she must be aware that she's going to be the one taking the fall, because it's all going a bit Pete Tong. She's got these problems. She's got many problems, but uppermost in her mind, which probably aren't actually uppermost in her mind because she's probably not even aware of them, but what ought to be uppermost in her mind are things like that the bond yields are likely or unlikely to improve. She's delaying, she's saying, delaying so we can get some good news in. Well, there aren't much options for good news. Like I say, the bond yields are not likely to improve. They're already at the highest rate for 30 years. 5.62, is it? For the 30-year bond? 10-year bonds at 4.82. These are worse than when Truss was forced out. So, no need to be smug on that one. You've got inflation, still high, likely to go higher. Not likely to come down anytime soon. Especially food inflation, that's likely to increase unexpectedly. I suspect the next set of inflation figures will put inflation at 4%, maybe even slightly higher, 4.1. I wouldn't like to guess, but double the target of 2% that she and all chancellors like to see. Do like a tiny bit of inflation. It helps you just inflate your way out of debt and allows for growth. But too high and it becomes problematic. And at 4%, it's problematic. Although I remember, and I'm sure many of the people my age and slightly older will remember, the good old days of the mid-70s when inflation was at, and wait for it kids, 25%. Oh yeah, those were the days. The interest rates are still stubbornly high. Not historically. Again, us oldies, we remember interest rates being 10, 11%. I remember 92, 93, something like that. It hit 15%. Great if you had a mortgage, because it meant you didn't have a house. Not for long. But that's historical. But even then, in the last 20 years, it's horrendously high, isn't it? But the Monetary Policy Committee are very concerned. They desperately want to actually raise interest rates. But the trouble is, they know if they do, it will destroy the money supply. The M3 will crash through the floor, and that will absolutely destroy the economy. So they're actually desperately, searching for things to do, but they know they're probably going to have to cut the interest rates again, but they're still stubbornly high for where they are. And it's causing major, major headaches. This shouldn't be a problem. There should be enough money in the system, but she keeps taxing everything, and so there isn't. It's a bugger. GDP, that's plunging, that's down, historically low. 0.7% growth, was it, so far this year, was the target. They've hit 0.3, not even half their target, and at 0.7 is hardly a growth. And, even if you look at that and go, the economy's growing 0.7%, yes, but inflation being 4% means it's still a major bloody suck, isn't it? That's the trouble. Dumb woman doesn't understand. She puts, I've got growth. No, you haven't. You haven't got growth. It doesn't work like that. And of course, then you've got problems in France being like trillions in debt, and Germany starting to stutter. These are big trading partners for Britain. We lose our trading partners. That's a lot of exports going up the Khyber, isn't it? So, what's a girl to do? Well, if I was her, I'd think, resign. Because if she went today, the wonderful thing is she'd be freed. I mean, she might think it as being a loss. No. She can go back to the backbench. She's absolutely fine. She'll still earn £80,000, £90,000, as it were, for being an MP. But think of that mantle of stress being taken off her shoulders, because at that moment it all becomes SEP. And making something SEP is a wonderful feeling of freedom. And for those of you who don't know what SEP is, well, it's somebody else's problem. Thanks very much. Bye.